guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be kind of like a continuation from last week's video, which was my predictions and kind of like a preview of the Met Gala 2024. So today's video, now that the Met Gala has passed, it was on Monday the 6th. I did tune in and I did watch it, and I realized after the fact that I gave you guys the wrong time as far as when it starts for Eastern Standard Time. So I'm sorry about that. Don't come for me, I'm sorry. Because it was in New York, which is where the Met is. So, but anyway, regardless, today's video is going to be my top 5 favorite looks from this year's Met Gala. If you haven't watched my last video already, I highly advise you go check it out. If you haven't watched the Met Gala, you can watch it on YouTube. The whole live stream and everything is on YouTube. So you can go ahead and watch that first if you want. It's about 2 hours long or so. But if you really want to make sure that you know what's going on, I advise you to watch my video first, and then watch the Met Gala, and then come back and watch this, okay? But we're gonna do this as I do my makeup for work. You know, almost like we're just chit-chatting. You know, we're sitting down, conversing about, what I felt. My personal opinion, not by any professional, judgment at all, whatever, criticism. My top favorite looks were top 5 for the evening. However, I am not going to touch on looks that I did not like mainly because everyone interpreted the theme differently, as I predicted. A lot of my predictions did come true, so that was nice to know. But also, like I said, everyone interpreted differently. Designers make their pieces, or whatever. So, I'm not going to touch on any looks that I didn't like, because my opinion is my opinion. And, I'm probably not the only one that didn't like them. I'm probably, there are people probably that are like, yeah, I did like those looks. So, I'm not going to waste my breath talking about ones that I didn't quite care for. I'm just going to talk about the ones that I felt, in my personal opinion, were the best of the night. So yeah. And I guess without further ado, we'll just get right started into the video. So we're going to start at number 5. I guess you can say I put these in order from 5 being I really liked it. I don't want to say I like any of them more than the other, but I guess I'm putting them in order from which, number 1 is number 1. You know what I'm saying? 5 being least, but still part of my top 5. You know what I'm saying? So, and then number 1 obviously being the best of the whole night, in my opinion. So, number 5, coming in number 5, I am going to show pictures throughout the whole time that I'm talking about each look. So, number 5, we got Mindy Kaling. Wow, 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 wow. Mama wow. So, she blew my mind, mainly because, I love Mindy Kaling as a writer, as an actress. I am a huge The Office fan. Goodness gracious. I love the show so much. And that's mainly where I know her from personally. I don't think I've really seen her in any other projects, but I don't really know her very much for being part of the fashion world. So when she stepped out on that carpet, I said, Miss Ma'am, you're joking. What? So just to talk about what she wore, of course, I'm going to give the details. So she wore, I'm looking at my notes, obviously, duh. She wore a sculpted gown by Indian designer, and I really pray to God I am pronouncing this right. Girar Gupta. Let's hope I said that right. And the look that she wore, her gown was actually named by the designer the melting flower of time. Can you see why? Can you see why? Goodness gracious. So the inspiration was like to show a bud and a blooming flower that is basically wilting, which obviously just perfectly, incorporates both garden and time from the theme of Garden of Time. I thought it was executed so beautifully. The construction of it was just stunning. Goodness gracious. I would have loved to know like how long it took for the gown to be made. But the construction looks absolutely flawless. It looks absolutely flawless. So, needless to say, it definitely shook me when she came out there on that carpet looking the way that she was. And also, her jewelry was so simplistic, but beautiful as well. Also by Indian designer. She's obviously an Indian woman, and I love that she, paid homage to that by wearing Indian designers. I thought that was also really beautiful. So yeah, goodness gracious, like she really shook me for real. And this isn't her first Met, but I feel like this was like my first time really seeing her look so elegant and like ethereal the way she did for this year's Met. So I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was beautifully constructed, probably one of the best constructed looks of the whole night in my opinion. But yeah, just gorgeous. So she's coming in hot at number 5 on my list. So yeah, Mindy Kaling, everyone. Let's go on to number 4. Y'all see that glowy base? That's crazy. By the way, what I just used for like the base of my makeup, like foundation wise, I mixed my Rare Beauty concealer in the shade 400W and my the Performer Skin Focused Foundation by Halsey's brand. About Face in the shade M2 Olive. So yeah, I actually really like her foundation. I don't have anything else from Halsey's brand About Face, but I do like her foundation. It's really, really lightweight, but it has good coverage. And personally, like that's what I look for in a foundation. And the color is like probably one of the closest to mine that I've found. But anyway, that's besides the point. Okay, so number 4. Ooh, we got a men's look. We got a men's look, people. Now, let me just say, when it comes to the Met Gala, I am the most disappointed by men's looks, when they come every year. I'm the most disappointed when it comes to men's looks because it's just, I hate seeing them wear the plain suits that they do. I'm like, bro, you could do so much more. Like I said, I'm not going to get into any looks that I didn't care for. I'm only going to talk about the ones that are a part of my top 5. So with that being said, top 5 coming in at number 4 is a men's look, Wisdom. Wow. If you don't know who Wisdom is, this is him. He's on the screen. You can see. But Wisdom is a very well-known, very popular fashion influencer. Has millions of followers. And this was his first Met. So we got a lot of first-timers. And they were killing it. Wow. I just thought, for one, I love him as a fashion influencer, period. He really does break boundaries when it comes to men's fashion or just fashion in general. And I think that also as, you know, a black man, you know, a man of color. It's just like so influential and just, oh, I love, so yeah. Let me get into the outfit that he wore. His ensemble was by Robert Wynn. Robert One. That's W-U-N. I hope I'm saying that right again. And his, like, he had on like this suit look underneath, like this exaggerated, like, you know, long trail, you know, trench coat with a matching hat and everything. Oh my goodness. I thought it was beautiful. I thought he looked amazing. That color was so powerful on him. It looked great. But the meaning, let's get into the meaning. Okay. He embodied that theme because, and I quote, said, it was meant to resemble a wilting rose with the burn, like, you know, pieces that you see on there, you know, like the patches, which is how a rose looks when it's dying, you know, like, it doesn't just, you know, like, at least a red rose anyway, like it can have those burn, like, you know, patches on it. I thought it just looked beautiful, and especially tying in, one of the people that I felt best incorporated also the theme of the actual exhibit, which was Sleeping Beauties, because the piece was like as if it was, you know, worn and old, and you know what I mean? Like it embodied that part of it too, by, you know, giving it that feel of like, this is a piece that is, you know, this is a garment that is, you know, wilted and old and, you know, torn and worn, and oh my gosh, I loved it. I loved it. And again, the color I thought looked great. I don't think I can recall anybody else coming up on the carpet red like that. A lot of people went more soft, you know what I'm saying? And if they didn't go soft, they went in the complete opposite, which was like very dark black. But the red, wow. Oh, I loved it so much. So yeah, needless to say, you can tell I really loved his look from a male's look perspective. Like I just, oh my gosh, out of all the men that showed up that night, he was one that really stole the show. So that was number 4, my personal spot for number 4. I thought it was amazing. So yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get into number 3. All right, so coming in spot number 3 is another men's look, and actually one of the co-chairs for the night, Mr. Bad Bunny himself. Listen, Bad Bunny, he is known in the fashion world for, you know, breaking those boundaries. And I thought that his look was so just different, not what you would expect, and I really loved it. So he was wearing custom Maison Margiela from the Artisan Collection by John Galliano. I mean, what a mouthful. But I thought that look was just so well constructed. The thing is, like, I loved the intentional, like, you know, design behind it. So it included a black satin corset, navy, ooh, I can't even read my own handwriting, Barathy wool smoking jacket with black gross grain lapels in reverse stitching. Another mouthful. I can't even read my handwriting where I just wrote that. But anyway, his look, needless to say, in my opinion, I thought was really nice and really different, because it was like, it almost looked undone, like intentionally, with the stitching and the detail and the threads hanging and stuff. I thought it looked so good. And I feel like, again, that can easily go into the exhibits theme. it was almost like he was wearing a piece that was never able to get finished. So he just, I thought it was very different, unique, and special. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. So yeah. There you go, Bad Bunny. And also, I just think that his accessories as well really tied in the whole look really beautifully. With from the glasses to the hat to the bouquet. I mean, and pulling in some of that garden theme as well with the bouquet, a little hint of it. I think it was really, really good. So yeah, that's my number 3. So we gonna get into number 2. Oh my gosh, number 2. Let's get into it. Okay, so for number 2, we have no other than Zendaya. Now, I know some of y'all are probably thinking, Zendaya, number 2. Listen. When I bring up number 1, it will all make sense. But, of course, Zendaya is in that top 5 because, my goodness. I mean, let me just say this. Zendaya is probably one of my favorite celebrities in the fashion world because she and Law Roach, like, goodness gracious. Wow, I just had like a whole speech. Okay. Because her and Law Roach, goodness gracious. I mean, they are unstoppable. For real. I mean, they just, every single time, the vision is always brought to life. So, Zendaya displayed 2 looks this year at the Met Gala. As I mentioned in my last video, she was one of the chair people this year. So, needless to say, she had to kill the whole night. She had to bring it, So, her first look, of course, styled by Raw Loach. Why do I keep doing that? Styled by Law Roach. Goodness gracious. I'm just going to start saying Law. Look number 1 was like an ocean blue gown. Again, by Mason Margiela. John Galliano. So, that was the first look that she, came out with for the night. I mean, goodness gracious. Talk about theatrical. And the makeup. Wow. I mean, she came out there with the dark lip, the dramatic eye, the skinny brow. That was maybe, I'm not even gonna lie, my favorite part of that whole look was the makeup because it was so beautifully done. As I'm sitting here trying to do my eyeliner and not breathe at the same time while also talking, like, wow. Anyway, but so yes, and it was a tribute to the natural world and tied in with the, co-theme of sea for the exhibit, which I also loved. The colors, I loved the colors on her, and I thought it was just beautiful. I mean, I don't really have to say much about it. It was just mind-blowing when she came out there, And then her second look to just, end the whole night, she went with a vintage archival piece by Givenchy from spring 1996, which is also the year she was born. So I love that she went with that decision, or that they went with that decision, her and Law. I thought that was really fun, especially to do 2 looks. I thought that was just like, wow, So, and I just love her headpiece, the bouquet of flowers on top of her head, and her makeup for that. They switched it up and they went no brow. like a blonde brow because she is currently blonde. And, you know, like the beautiful kind of, you know, ethereal eye, just making her look so, just like she's part of the bouquet. I love it. You know, she always eats. Like I said, there's really not a lot that I have to say about Zendaya and Law because they just do it every single time without fail and so effortlessly. It's like when she comes out there, she just embodies whatever she needs to do. So, I thought that she definitely deserves spot number 2, especially considering she came out there with 2 looks. And, you know, obviously, clearly was very on theme. That is without question. However, spot number 1, I saved that for my favorite of the whole night. And before I get into number 1, my number 1 spot is going to this person because I felt like it embodied the theme the best, in my opinion. So, yeah. Keep that in mind, okay, as we go into this spot. Okay, now before I actually get into number 1, I know you're probably like, girl, can you just get to it already? I do want to throw in a honorable mention, and that is Dove Cameron, actually. Her look surprised me. It not in that like it was revolutionary to me or anything. Like at first when she came out, I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty. She went with florals. That's nice. But it wasn't until she got up to the top of the steps and was being interviewed by Lala Anthony that she explained like the inspiration behind her look, which I loved. I'm just gonna put the clip in here and let you guys see for yourself what she had to say about it.
Joined by the stunning Dove Cameron is here. Tell me the inspiration behind this sexy, sexy, amazing look.
Oh, thank you. The inspiration, well, this is a diesel dress, and Glenn was really trying to think about sort of the idea, the theory, the concept, yeah, that maybe we were sitting in a forest for a very long time and we were sort of eaten away and affected by the surroundings, and the same thing with like the hair, it kept growing and we were left to decay in the woods, garden of time and such. So yeah,
I love that interpretation, and I love how everyone brings their own interpretation to this year's theme.
Yeah,
that's one of the most exciting things to see.
Yeah, I agree. I actually said that at the top of the day. I thought this was such a brilliant, beautiful theme that could be interpreted in so many different ways, and that's one of the things I'm most excited to see tonight for sure.
So yeah, needless to say, I was like, okay, I'm not mad at that. I think that is a really creative way of, you know, finding inspiration. And, you know, I could see it. Like after she explained that, after she gave the inspiration for her look, I was like, you know what? I can see it. I see the vision, girl. And I love it. I'm here for it. You know, like I thought it was well executed. It was more than just florals. It had a story to it, and it was still on theme, especially after she explained, you know, the you know, inspiration in the design of her dress and everything. Yeah. So she definitely gets honorable mention for, you know, this whole thing. And I would probably put her at number 6, like, you know, after Mindy, but you know, this is a top 5, so she didn't quite make the cut, but needless to say, she's an honorable mention. So, with that being said, now we can get into spot number 1. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Okay, let's just do it. All right, and number 1, coming in spot number 1 for me, for the entire night, Tyla. Oh my gosh, who guessed it? I'm sure somebody watching this video guessed it was going to be Tyla. Let me break it down for you because, oh my gosh. I mean, when she came out, I was like, literally jaw dropped. Number 1, like this is her first Met. And again, I say this because like coming out like that on your first Met, that says a lot about you. I just feel like that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like Wisdom, his first Met. And then Tyla, like, wow. So that's one, okay? She wore Balmain, and she went for the more so like time part of the theme of Garden of Time, which I was like, okay, theme. She got the theme. Here we go. I love. So that was great. But she wore this dress made of sand. Literally made of sand. So, and it was supposed to be a nod to the sands of time. You know, like that would be in an hourglass. So, you know, like that just symbolic, you know, meaning of like sands of time. You know what I'm saying? Which I loved. And her accessory was a Balmain hourglass clutch. Do we see the clutch? Like, come on. And then the makeup by Pat McGrath, the sand on her. Do you see that? Like, okay. Let's just get into the construction part, okay? So it was made to hug her like that. They did a sculpt of her body 2 months before the Met, and they used 3 different colored sand and mixed it with micro crystal studs. Molded it, you know, on organza and, you know, put it out into like a mermaid train. I mean, I don't think I've seen anyone do that before. I don't think I've seen anybody do that before. So with that being said, I feel like this look was definitely the most revolutionary, the most creative, the most unique of the night. So, yeah. I may be blowing it up, but I don't care because I love me some fashion and I love different and I love unique. And I feel like she embodied it, especially once again, I say, for her first Met. So yeah, needless to say, she got spot number 1 for me. And also, not to mention, like, not only did this piece, you know, obviously fit the dress code of the Garden of Time, but it also related to the theme of the exhibit Sleeping Beauties, because the designer said that this dress was intended to only be worn once. Just one time, and then it's done, and then it's dead, and it can't be worn again, which I love because, I mean, using a material like sand, which is not a common thing to use, obviously, in a design for a dress, is like you're turning something, you know, like that into something wearable. But the way that it was made and crafted, it was only made to be worn once, and only by her, because it fits to her specific, you know, body, as they did the sculpt for it and everything. And I loved that, because now it's like this piece can stand in history along with this exhibit, you know, as a Sleeping Beauty. It was beautiful, worn for the one time, and now it rests, you know, it can be laid to rest. And I love that so much. I love that so much. So, needless to say, Tyla, honey, you got number 1, girl. You did that. So, yeah. Also, my makeup is done. I did a very simple everyday look, okay, for work today, but yeah. Okay. So that was my top 5. Let's close this video out before I talk any more about it. Okay, that was the fastest I've ever done my makeup, by the way. Like, when I edit this video, I'll see how long it ends up being, but like, I mean, okay. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, me sharing my top 5 from the Met Gala this year. And I put a poll like on my Instagram story to see like would you guys really want to see this? Because like, I don't mind doing it, but like, I have so much content lined up and ready for you guys, because oh my gosh, there are some things happening and coming out that I'm like, I want to share, I want to do this. So yeah, needless to say, majority ruled and was like, yeah, girl, we want to hear what you got to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys, you know, maybe agreed with some of my choices. What do you guys think? Did you love these also? Or, I mean, maybe were they not some of your favorites? I don't know. But these were personally my favorites. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Ooh, it's gonna be a good one. Okay. All right. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe also. Child, what is wrong with me? Yeah. If you're not subscribed already, then I don't know what you're doing, but you should do that. Like now. Please. And you know, like this video, of course, share. Spread the info, like what you know, let the people know, you know what I'm saying, that these are the top 5 from Destiny. This is what she had to say. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.